time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walk the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back for another episode, and we gotta recap the last week of the regular season in college football, and what a great last week we had. But before we do that, I'd like to ask that you leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Helps the channel, helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose network. We also got shows like The Main Show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave, which will be live later tonight at 7 o'clock. They go live Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 to 8:30. Unfazed every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. We got BWT, Baseball with Teddy. He just did an episode, I believe, 2 nights ago. All your baseball content through there. Starting to see some free agents get signed. We got RBO, Real Ballers Only. He had a hiatus, but he did an episode not last night, but yesterday. So make sure you check that out. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sports. We got FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. It is now currently week 14. Some people playoffs are next week. Some people playoffs are in 2 weeks. It's getting heated in fantasy football leagues across the world. We got Kings Talk with Joe Jordan, who went live, I believe, last night. Talk about the Kings. They played the Grizzlies. All your Sacramento Kings news, updates, post games with Joe. We have In the Red Corner featuring Ty, Ricky, Tomo. I believe they're going live this Sunday, if I remember correct, from Ty. So all your boxing content through there. And I believe that's all the shows we have to offer on the network. I'm just scrolling through real quick. Yeah, that's all the shows that we have to offer. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to all those as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. But you know, I can't start the show without poll talk, which, I think I forgot to make the yeah, I did. So let's do it real quick. I forgot to make the banner. So let's get into poll talk. We're going to get into we're going to start with poll talk. First, Oregon solidified as number 1 in the country. The only team in the top 25, undefeated, 12-0, just like I predicted in the preseason, where they take on Penn State tomorrow. By the way, I will be live again in another hour to talk about conference championship week. Number 2, Texas moves up after Ohio State takes that embarrassing loss to Michigan, 13-10. They're now second in the country at 11-1. Penn State moves up to 3, 11-1. Notre Dame moves up to 4, 11-1. Georgia moves up to 5, 10-2. Ohio State only drops to 6 at 10-2. Tennessee moves up to 7, 10-2. SMU is at 8, 11-1. Indiana is 9 at 11-1. Boise State is 10th at 11-1. Only loss being to first-ranked Oregon. 11, Alabama. 12, Miami at 10-2. Alabama's 9-3, by the way. 13 is Ole Miss at 9-3. South Carolina is 14th at 9-3. Shout out my boys. Huge dub against Clemson. We'll talk about that. Arizona State is 15th at 10-2. Iowa State is 16th at 10-2. Clemson is 17th at 9-3. BYU is 18th at 10-2. Missouri is 19th at 9-3. UNLV is 20th at 10-2. 21st is Illinois at 9-3. Syracuse is 22nd at 9-3. Colorado is 23rd at 9-3. Army is 24th at 10-1, and Memphis is 25th at 10-2. Now, my thoughts. Start with the top 5. Obviously, no arguments with Oregon, no arguments with Texas. Penn State, although their resume is lackluster, they did what they were supposed to do. So no arguments there. My argument, this is not top 5. Notre Dame at 4. I said if they blow Army, I'll shut up. They did it, so I'll shut up, even though I think SMU should be over Notre Dame. They lost the same week. SMU has the better loss. SMU lost is only to 18th ranked BYU. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois, who's not even playing for the MAC championship, not even close. So I feel like SMU should be over Notre Dame. But it's the name. Notre Dame has more tradition, better name than SMU. SMU is not a traditional school. SMU is really traditionally known for losing. The one time they were winning back in the 80s, they got hit with the death penalty with Eric Dickerson and all them guys. So Notre Dame is the bigger tradition. It's the name. I hate the college football playoff. Let me not say hate. I dislike the college football playoffs committee for that. It's unfair. Throw the names out. Compare the resumes. Compare the teams. 5 is Georgia. Not particularly mad at it. Even though Georgia, they've not been looking great lately. Ohio State at 6. How they only dropped 4 spots? They lost to a 6-5, now 7-5 Michigan game. Sure, you want to say it's a rivalry game all you want. This is the one time against Michigan they were supposed to blow them out. And you only put up 10 points. And you only dropped 4 spots for that? Miami lost to now ranked Syracuse and dropped 6 spots. But Ohio State can lose to Michigan and only drop 4? Makes no sense to me. It's the name. Tennessee at 7 should be above Ohio State. Both have 2 losses. Now, Tennessee's losses are to – no, they beat Oklahoma. Their losses is to, I want to say, Georgia. Yep, they lost to Georgia and they lost to Arkansas. Arkansas turns out to be a bad loss. Georgia's not a bad loss. Ohio State losing to Michigan is a bad loss. And then, obviously, Oregon's not a bad loss. 8, SMU should be above. Both of them, in my opinion, should be above Notre Dame. I think, honestly, I would maybe put them under Georgia, but I wouldn't be mad if SMU was over all those teams. Wouldn't be mad if SMU was 4th, to be completely honest. 9, Indiana should be above. Shouldn't be above Ohio State because they lost the head-to-head. I will say that. They lost the head-to-head badly, too. If it was close, then I'm like, all right, they should be ahead. But their only test this year, not only test, their main test this year was Ohio State, and they got beat badly. But they did beat Michigan, something that Ohio State did not do. Boise State, not mad at. Maybe should be higher. Now, this is what I want to talk about right here. You had some committee member come on and say, oh, well, Miami lost 2 of their last 3. That's why they're below Alabama. Alabama won 2 of their last 3. Alabama beat FCS Mercer and Auburn and got the doors beat off of them by Oklahoma, who is missing 6 receivers. 24-3 to a team who is missing 6 receivers and fired their OC. It's the name, bro. You got to be kidding me. That made no sense. Miami has lost to Georgia Tech, who took Georgia to 8 overtimes, and Syracuse, who is now ranked 22nd. Cool. 2 losses nonetheless, but I take those 2 losses over Alabama's 2 wins. Who did they beat? They didn't beat nobody. And then Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. Good loss, not bad. They lost to Oklahoma. That is so bad. And then they lost to I can't remember right now. I can't remember who their third loss is, but it was Tennessee. They lost to Tennessee. Not a bad loss. But Oklahoma is a terrible loss. That is a worse loss than the Miami 2 losses. I'm sorry, not sorry. Oklahoma's a terrible loss. And not to mention, they have more losses than Miami. So they have the worst loss, and they have more losses. It's just, I told y'all from 3 to 4 weeks ago, they're going to find a way to put Alabama in the playoff. I told y'all. Ole Miss at 13, cool. I'm not mad at it. They beat South Carolina head-to-head. And they won by like 20, I think it was 27-3. So I'm not mad at that. Both have 3 losses. They won the head-to-head, cool. But the inconsistencies of the college football committee is just crazy to me. Makes no sense why Miami is below Alabama. Alabama has the worst resume, the worst loss, and more losses at that. I don't care about the SEC. Clearly, the SEC ain't as good as y'all think it is because Georgia Tech, like I said, took Georgia to 8 overtimes. You could say, oh, it's a rivalry game. That is true. I also predicted that game would be more competitive than people thought. But you can't just use, oh, we're the SEC. Oh, they're the SEC. Blah, blah, blah. They're better than everybody. Clearly not. Arizona State at 15. I'm not too mad at it. I'm honestly not too mad at the rest of this. I think BYU should be over Clemson, but even though Clemson's in their conference championship, I think BYU should be over Clemson. BYU had a bad loss against Kansas, but Kansas honestly won 3 straight against all ranked opponents, so they just dealt with a hot Kansas team. Other than that, they beat the 8th ranked SMU Mustangs, and I believe they were ranked at the time too. So it's not like they were unranked and worked their way up. SMU was ranked at the time. So Mizzou at 19, y'all know they're only there because of lack of other teams. UNLV, I think, should be above Mizzou. Illinois at 21, I think they should be honestly below Syracuse. I think Syracuse should be above Illinois, UNLV, and Mizzou. UNLV, they beat head to head. They're a better team than Illinois, in my opinion. They're a better team than Mizzou, in my opinion. I think Syracuse should be above all those guys. Colorado should be above all those guys, including Syracuse, in my opinion. And then Army and Memphis, they're cool where they're at. But I'm just disappointed in the committee. They're just trying to make this the SEC Invitational, which I knew this was what it was going to be. They're going to try to put as many SEC teams in as possible and make it the SEC Invitational. Man, look, my last thought, because I'm spending too much time on Paul Talk, is this. What's the point of these teams that have the name to have a tough schedule? What's the point? Because you're automatically just going to think, if they play a weak schedule and they win them, you're just going to think, oh, that's because they're that good. You're not going to look at the strength of schedule. You're just going to look at the name. And if they lose some of these games, 1 or 2, you're still going to look at the name. So why, if I'm Bama, if I'm Georgia, if I'm Tennessee, if I'm Oregon, Ohio State, why would I schedule a tough conference schedule or a tough schedule period? It's a lose-lose. And now you're taking away from the sport. You're taking away matchups that could be Ohio State, Texas. You're taking away matchups that could be Alabama, let's say Arizona State just this year, just based off how good Arizona State was this year. You're taking away those potential matchups. Or Alabama, Penn State, Alabama, Ohio State. You're taking away those matchups because they're like, we're going to get in regardless. There's no need for us to have a hard schedule. Save that for the people that don't got the name, that they need to do that because they don't got a name, so they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. It's just nasty. Shane Beamer was right. I listened to Shane Beamer talk about it, and I love Shane Beamer for it, South Carolina head coach. He said, I'm competitive, so I'm going to do it anyway. But what's the purpose? Honestly, if I wasn't competitive, why would I do it? What is the personal gain? It doesn't matter. You're not going to judge it based off of it. So there's no point. But he's competitive, so he's going to do it anyway. But yeah, that's enough for me and Pole Talk. Let's get into these recaps of the game. We're going to start with Thursday night. We're going to start with Memphis at Tulane. As I look for my notebook. Oh, here we go. Memphis at Tulane. I picked Tulane. I had Tulane going 10-2 preseason. I had them losing to Kansas State and Oklahoma, winning out the rest of the games. And I was 1 game away from perfectly predicting it. And Tulane absolutely dropped the ball. Turnovers. That's the word of the day for this game. Turnovers. Memphis I don't think Memphis committed any of them. And Tulane committed like 3. Memphis, they were able to get a lot of what they wanted on offense. Mario Anderson had a day on the ground. Tulane struggled against this Memphis defense, which is really crazy for me to say because not too many teams struggled against Memphis's defense. And at the end of the day, Memphis won the game. Tulane drops to 9-3. They're still in their conference championship, which we'll talk about later. Memphis is not eligible to play in the conference championship because they had too many American Athletic losses. They had 2. Tulane had 1. Army has 1. Still interesting to see. Oh, no. Army has none. Army has 1 loss, and that's the Notre Dame, which is not American Conference. My bad. They have no losses. So it will be at Army for the championship. But let's get into it. Memphis starts with a 17-yard Greg DeSoris touchdown catch set up by Rock Taylor, 42-yard catch. Tulane starts with a 44-yard field goal. Then Tulane scores a 7-yard Mario Williams touchdown catch set up by Yokeith Brown, 42-yard catch. Memphis scores a 25-yard Greg DeSoris touchdown catch. Mario Anderson, a 16-yard run. Memphis scores a 28-yard field goal. Then Memphis incomplete Hail Mary before the half. And then Tulane will start the second half with a Yokeith Brown fumble, leading to a Greg DeSoris Jr. 29-yard run. Memphis scores a 23-yard field goal. Then Tulane scores a 2-yard Arnold Barnes touchdown run set up by defensive penalties. Tulane would then have Mario Williams fumble, but that would lead to a punt. And then Tulane's Darian Minson would throw an interception, leading to a 47-yard Mario Anderson touchdown run. And then Tulane would score a 3-yard Shaz Preston touchdown catch set up by Mario Williams 20-yard catch. Like I said, man, too many turnovers. They had 3, lost by 10 points. Turnovers, man, they're going to cost you. Next, we go into Friday. So I came into Friday 0-1 due to Tulane ruining my perfect prediction. And I predicted Miami of Ohio to beat Bowling Green, and they won 28-12. The reason why? Again, Miami of Ohio was able to hit those big plays. Javon Tracy had a big touchdown after Bowling Green cut it to 2. Reggie Virgil had a big play to score a touchdown. K. McDonald started it off with a 30-yard touchdown catch. Just hitting those big plays, like I said, Miami of Ohio was able to hit. Bowling Green was able to play some defense. They didn't allow, like the game, yes, Miami scored 28, but they got those touchdowns later in the game. The game, I believe, at halftime was 7-5 or 14-5. Bowling Green did an excellent job defensively. They forced turnovers. It's just offensively, they could not capitalize. They were able to move a little bit, but that Miami of Ohio defense, they became stout. They stopped plays. They got a couple turnovers of their own, but they were just doing a really good job stagnating drives by Bowling Green and not allowing Bowling Green to score touchdowns. Bowling Green only got 1 touchdown in the game. Not allowing touchdowns and really getting turnovers on downs when called upon. Just a great game defensively like I thought it would be by Miami of Ohio. So to start, Bowling Green starts with the punt. Miami of Ohio starts with a Brett Gabbert interception, but that would just lead to a 3-and-out punt. Miami of Ohio scores a 30-yard K. McDonald touchdown catch. Miami of Ohio, Brett Gabbert interception leading to a punt. Miami of Ohio, the running back, I believe it was Downing. He got tackled in the end zone for a safety. They got the ball at the 1-yard line. First down play, he barely got out. Second down play, he got tackled in the end zone for a safety, leading to a 41-yard field goal. Miami of Ohio scored a 20-yard Reggie Virgil touchdown catch, set up by a Reggie Virgil 28-yard catch. Miami of Ohio starts the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Bowling Green starts the second half with a Connor Bazelak interception, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Then with 11:35 left in the fourth quarter, Bowling Green scores a 2-yard Jason Patterson touchdown run set up by Jamal Johnson, 22-yard run. I like that little counter they was running to Jamal Johnson. That became a little money. The first time they ran, they got shut down, but after that became money. It was a shotgun counter run. Miami of Ohio scores a 72-yard Javon Tracy touchdown catch right after it. Miami of Ohio then turnover on downs, 4th and 9, passes incomplete, leading to a Bowling Green turnover on downs, 4th and 3, passes incomplete, leading to a 27-yard Keon Mosey touchdown run. And then Bowling Green turnover on downs, 4th and 14. Bazelak is sacked, leading to the end of the game. Miami of Ohio moves on to play Ohio tomorrow in the MAC championship. As you remember, if you recall, Miami of Ohio was my preseason MAC champion coming into the year. Just one more game, and I get that one correctly. Just like Tulane. Tulane was my American Conference champion preseason. One more game, they beat Army. That'd be 2 for 2. Now, next game we got to talk about was a game that I was surprised about. I went into this game. I picked Liberty to beat Sam Houston State. Liberty loses 18 to Sam Houston State 20. And all I can say is defense, defense, defense. Sam Houston State defense came to play. They didn't allow Liberty to break long runs. They turned Liberty over. They made plays. Even after Liberty gets a safety, they were still able to make plays to stay in the game. They actually hit on big plays offensively. Didn't really see that coming. And yeah, they did a really good job containing Katie Salter. Now, Katie Salter was a little hurt in this game, but they did a good job containing him, hitting plays when needed to be made, and they got a huge stop on the 2-point conversion that would have tied it for Liberty, and they won the ball game. Now, later, we're going to talk about how Western Kentucky beat Jack State. That was the game they needed Jack State to win to remain undefeated in Conference USA play, to make the Conference USA championship, but as I just said, Jack State beat them, so they did not make the Conference USA championship game. Would have been crazy. I do side note real quick. I was thinking about this when Sam Houston State won. I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if Jack State and Sam Houston State, both FCS programs that moved up to FBS in their first year eligible, it'd be crazy if they make the conference championship games and played against each other. That'd be crazy, but just didn't happen that way. Sam Houston State didn't make it, but it is crazy still. Jack State first year eligible for the FBS. Now, I keep saying eligible because they were in a Conference USA game. There was a Conference USA last year, and I believe they would have been eligible, but they obviously weren't because it's the rule. You have to wait. Now, they did something to where they only had to wait a year. I forgot what it was, but you normally got to wait 2 years before you can be eligible for any championships and bowl games. But they only had to wait 1. So, but shout out to them, though. Now let's talk about this one. Sam Houston State will start with a 39-yard field goal. Liberty will start with a 3-and-out punt. Liberty turnover on downs, 4th and 4, passes incomplete, leading to a punt. Sam Houston State safety leads to a punt. Sam Houston State scores a 17-yard Simeon Evans touchdown catch set up by a Michael Phoenix 21-yard catch. Liberty's Caden Salter interception leads to a 2-yard Simeon Evans touchdown catch. Sam Houston State's Hunter Watson interception will lead to a 10-yard Elijah Canyon touchdown catch. Liberty will start the second half with a turnover on downs, 4th and 5 passes incomplete, leading to a 38-yard field goal. And then Sam Houston State will miss a 32-yard field goal, leading to a Caden Salter interception, which will lead to a turnover on downs, 4th and 3 for Sam Houston State, passes incomplete, which will lead to a 43-yard field goal for Sam Houston State. Then Liberty turnover on downs, 4th and 13, passes incomplete, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Liberty would then score a 33-yard Caden Salter touchdown run, but the 2-point would be no good, and then Liberty will fail at an onside kick, leaving Sam Houston State to win the ball game. Like I said, just defense, turnover on downs were called upon, turnovers at that. Defense did a great job winning Sam Houston State this ball game. Next, we have, I got to check some comments. Hold on. We got CTC, let's go. Shout out to my brother. And then we got, what do you think about the Boise State UNLV game? That's going to be on the next episode. I'll be back. Come back in about 45 minutes to an hour. I'll have a whole episode dedicated to the conference championship games, all 9 of them. So just come back, 45 minutes to an hour. Stay on this one if you want to hear the rest of the recap of Week 14, but that will be a different show in about 45 minutes to an hour. Shout out to you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. We got to talk about this Georgia game, however. Now, this game, like I said in my preview, said Georgia wins, but this game is going to be way more competitive than what people think. And 8 overtimes screams that I was right. Now, I did not think that Haynes King was as healthy as he was. I did not. I watched him NC State game. I watched him all them games since the shoulder injury, and he just hasn't been able to throw the ball. And then against Georgia, they ain't had to put in Aaron Philo. Haynes King did all the heavy lifting. I even said in my preview, if Haynes King was healthy, I might lean Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech honestly should have won this game. Completely honest. They should have won this game. But a late game fumble, and I'm not saying this is him this year. It was him last year, but it's not him this year. A late game untimely turnover by Haynes King keeps Georgia in the game. Georgia capitalizes and scores. Georgia Tech cannot get in field goal range, and they go into overtime, obviously 8 of them, and Georgia pulls this game out. The untimely turnovers last year killed Georgia Tech, and an untimely turnover killed them this year. But let's talk about it. So Georgia Tech starts with a 31-yard field goal. Georgia starts with a 3-and-out punt. Georgia Tech turnover downs 4th and 1. Jamal Haynes 1-yard loss leads to a turnover downs 4th and 1. Nate Frazier no gain. Leads to a 25-yard field goal miss, which will lead to a 3-and-out punt. So just sloppy football. Georgia Tech scores a 2-yard Haynes King touchdown run set up by Chase Lane 18-yard catch. Georgia, Dominic Levitt will fumble, leading to a 4-yard Jamal Haynes touchdown catch. Then Georgia will miss a 53-yard field goal before the half. Then Georgia will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. Georgia Tech will start the second half with a 3-and-out punt. And then Georgia will score a 2-yard Oscar Delp touchdown catch set up by Arian Smith 30-yard run. The 2-point would be no good. Georgia Tech will score a 23-yard field goal. Georgia will score a 1-yard Nate Frazier touchdown run set up by Dominic Levitt 15-yard catch. Georgia Tech scores an 11-yard Haynes King touchdown run set up by Eric Singleton 33-yard catch. Georgia will score a 17-yard Dominic Levitt touchdown catch set up by Roderick Robinson 21-yard catch. And then Georgia Tech's Haynes King would fumble, leading to a 3-yard Dominic Levitt touchdown catch. And then Georgia Tech turnover on downs 4th and 1 passes incomplete, leading to the end of regulation. Now in overtime, both teams will score. Georgia will score a 14-yard London Humphreys touchdown catch, while Georgia Tech will score a 12-yard Eric Singleton touchdown catch. The second overtime, Haynes King will score a 1-yard touchdown run. The 2-point be no good because you have to go for 2 in the second overtime. And then Georgia will score a 25-yard Cash Jones touchdown catch, but the 2-point will be no good to win the ball game. So they go to a third overtime where both teams will fail. Both teams will fail in the 4th. Both teams will convert in the 5th. Both teams will fail in the 6th and 7th. And in the 8th overtime, Georgia Tech would fail their 2-point conversion play, while Georgia would score their 2-point conversion play to Nate Frazier, winning the ball game. Now, an important note, well, not really important, but a thing that was going on, Georgia's Kirby Smart basically was calling a timeout before every Georgia Tech 2-point conversion. They wanted to see what they was in, and they would change their defense to adjust to what they came in. And it worked for the most part. It really worked. And they held on to win that ball game. And now I think win or lose this SEC championship game, they're in the playoffs. If they'd have lost and then lost the SEC championship game, it'd have been a wrap. And my South Carolina Gamecocks would have loved it. But they didn't, so I think they're automatically in now. And we move on to the last game I previewed Friday night, Nebraska at Iowa. Shout out to my boy. He said, that's a bet. I'm going to stay on here and just did. That's a bet, my boy. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. So, Nebraska at Iowa, 10-13. Now, I predicted Iowa to win, and for the majority of this game, I'm like, dang, I'm on the wrong side of this game. Nebraska was able to move the ball. They just could not capitalize and put up many points, while Iowa was just 3-and-out punting the ball away. Get the ball, 3-and-out punt. No matter where they got it. Iowa got the ball in like the 50 or like the 45, one possession, 3-and-out punt. Could not move the ball against this Nebraska defense. I'm like, oh, man, this is, again, one of them years where the game is just weird. Like, the team that I thought was better just about to lose. But then one play to Caleb Johnson on a pass play, nevertheless, he breaks a couple tackles, and he's off to the races, to the house to tie the ball game. Then you got another play. Dylan Raiola, time running down. He's moving the ball, gets sacked, fumbles the ball. Iowa picks it up, and Drew Stevens kicks the game-winning field goal to win 13-10. It was a fun game to watch. It was Big Ten football. It was grind them out, defensive football. Now, this game, I really wouldn't put on that Dylan Raiola. Yeah, you can say, well, it's on him because he fumbled at the end. He kind of got back there instantly. He really had no choice. He just knocked the ball out of his hand, to be completely honest. It is what it is. But Iowa, man, that Caleb Johnson just finds a way to win games for Iowa. No matter what he needs to do, he finds a way to win games. So this is real show. We're going to talk about it. So Iowa starts with a 3-and-out punt. Nebraska starts with a 31-yard field goal. And then they basically punt the ball. Each team punts the ball until 38 seconds left in the second quarter when Nebraska scores a 1-yard Dante Dowdle touchdown run set up by Ja'Cory Barney 23-yard catch. Nebraska starts the second half with a 34-yard field goal miss, and that leads to a punt. And the punt was actually muffed, which Iowa recovers. And this is when I thought the game was over because I forgot to talk about this. Iowa punts the ball. Nebraska muffs it, Iowa recovers. They're like at the 5 or something like that. It's first and goal instantly, and they're right there. They don't punch it in for a touchdown. They settle for a field goal because they basically go nowhere. I think they even go backwards. I'm like, all right, this is the best field position you're going to get, and you can't even score here. This game is over. You can't score. You can't move the ball against this Nebraska defense. And then after that, that's when the very next drive, the Caleb Johnson play happens. He goes 72 yards on the catch, breaking tackles, and just outraces everybody to the end zone for the touchdown. And then with 22 seconds left, Dylan Raiola fumbles off the sack, leading to a 53-yard field goal, which won the game, leading Iowa to win the game. And I know Jay Higgins at the end of the game, the linebacker for Iowa, was like, yeah, y'all ain't want to shake our hands at the little coin toss. I made sure to get my handshakes at the end of the game. He was running up on people with his hands out. Like, I liked it, though. But that leaves my final weekday record 3-2, which I was happy about, man. I didn't want to go out because that was the Iowa-Nebraska game was the game that was going to tilt it. And I got the 2 wins that night. I got the 1 win with Miami of Ohio. I got the 2 losses with Tulane Memphis on Thursday. And I got the loss with Liberty Sam Houston. So I went 3-2 weekday. I was happy about that. Now we move on to Saturday. And my South Carolina boys takes on Clemson. Now, y'all know South Carolina was my pick because South Carolina was my dog of the week last Friday. And South Carolina won 17-14. Dog of the week hit, making dog of the week on the year for college football regular season 4-3. I started it late. I think I started it week 6. We finished 4-3, though. So that's good. When you can pick underdogs and finish on a winning record, that means you're winning money. So if you follow me, you ain't win too much, but you won nonetheless, and that's all you can ask for. 15th ranked South Carolina beat 12th ranked Clemson 17-14. Now, this game was at Clemson, Battle of the Palmetto, rivalry game. And I'm not going to lie, this game was sloppy. Neither quarterback threw for a touchdown. Both quarterbacks actually ran for 2 touchdowns. They actually ran for both their teams' touchdowns. Lenore Sellers had a crazy run for 25 yards out after a big penalty set South Carolina back. Then he had another one to end the game. Cade Klubnik threw a pick to end the game, late game. But this game was sloppy. South Carolina was able to move the ball, got in the red zone, and they would either turn the ball. They would just turn the ball over in the red zone. It was weird. I was shocked. But like I said, preview-wise, South Carolina's defense is going to be the kryptonite for Clemson. Their defense, well, they're going to get after it. They're not going to let Cade Klubnik and these guys put up points. They only put up 14. Now, granted, it looked like I was about to be wrong at the end of the game, but then they got the game-sealing interception. So let's talk about it real quick. South Carolina starts with a Lenore Sellers fumble leading to a punt. Clemson turnover downs, 4th and 1, Phil Moffitt, no gain, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Clemson would then score a 13-yard Cade Klubnik touchdown run set up by an Antonio Williams 40-yard catch. South Carolina scores a 25-yard Lenore Sellers touchdown run set up by Oscar Adaway 21-yard run. Clemson scores an 18-yard Cade Klubnik touchdown run set up by Cade Klubnik 15-yard run. South Carolina's Raheem Sanders fumbles, leading to a Phil Maffa fumble, leading to a punt. Then South Carolina's Lenore Sellers throws an interception, leading to a 3-and-out punt. The South Carolina would score a 42-yard field goal, and then they would score a 20-yard Lenore Sellers touchdown run, set up by Lenore Sellers' 27-yard run. And then Cade Klubnik would throw an interception, leading to the end of the game. Yeah, man, South Carolina got the win, and now we need some help in the college football playoffs, including Clemson losing again. Don't need them bids stealing. The next game I had was Miami at Syracuse. Now, I did pick Miami to win, but I thought Syracuse was able to put up points because Miami's defense is just that bad. But honestly, when I watched this game and rewatched it, I don't necessarily blame Miami's defense. Now, the ending of the game, yes, you got to hold your water. You got to stay disciplined. You cannot jump off sides on 2nd and 5 with one timeout that close to the end of the ball game. I do agree. But what are you doing, Mario? Why are you kicking the field goal on 4th and goal when you're in a shootout? Why are you trusting your defense to get the ball back? Not only that, Xavier Restrepo's fumble was huge. Miami, even though they were in the shootout, they had the ball to possess it last. So what I'm saying is, by the way, got a text message from my dog that's gonna be on the later show. We good. That's one of them. I know Joe gonna be ready. But what I'm saying is, it was tied when Miami had the rock, 28-28, and Xavier Restrepo fumbled, I believe, after picking up a first down, and they took it back to the house. That was also killer. So a turnover late game, you can't stop them once they got back in it, even though you were 21-zip, you allowed them back in it. And then you settle for a field goal late ball game. What's the difference? Yes, okay, cool. You can go down and win it with a touchdown if you stop them. But if I score and I stop them, then I can go down and win it with a field goal. Or if I don't stop them, what's the difference? I got to stop him anyway and get this ball back. I might as well go for the glory, go for the touchdown, and they really ain't showing signs of stopping me from doing so. The reason why you got pushed back was because of your offense, not their defense. You got a penalty on a play that I think almost was intercepted or was dropped or something like that, and it pushed them back. So I don't really blame Miami's defense. I blame coaching and it just that turnover. It was bad. So let's talk about it. So Miami starts with a 2-yard Mark Fletcher touchdown run set up by Jacoby George, 19-yard catch. Next, we have Syracuse start with a turnover down, 4 for 2 passes incomplete, leading to an Xavier Restrepo 16-yard touchdown catch. Miami scores a 3-yard Elijah Arroyo touchdown catch set up by Jacoby George, 40-yard catch. Syracuse scores an 8-yard LaQuint Allen touchdown run set up by Trevor Pena, 26-yard catch. Syracuse scores a 9-yard Jackson Meeks touchdown catch set up by defensive holding. Syracuse would then start the second half with a 25-yard Trevor Pena touchdown catch set up by a 50-yard Trevor Pena catch. Miami University would then start the second half with a 2-yard Mark Fletcher touchdown run set up by an Elijah Arroyo 27-yard catch. Syracuse will score another 9-yard Jackson Meeks touchdown catch set up by Jackson Meeks 33-yard catch. Syracuse Justine Willis would fumble, leading to a Devin Grant. He would fumble, which would lead to Miami's Xavier Restrepo fumbling, which would lead to Devin Grant picking up the Xavier Restrepo fumble and taking it to the house. I believe it was like 60-something yards. Then Miami would score a 2-yard Damian Martinez touchdown run set up by Xavier Restrepo 40-yard catch. And Syracuse would score a 3-yard LaQuint Allen touchdown run set up by Jackson Meeks 29-yard catch. And then Miami would score the 27-yard field goal at the end of the game. And then Syracuse would kill the last 43-42 of the game, including that offsides on the defensive lineman. Yeah, I didn't like the field goal decision. I thought you had to go for it. Either way, you get it, touchdown, tie ball game. You don't, you got to stop them anyway and get the ball back anyway. So it was high risk, high reward. I would say medium risk. I don't even know if anybody ever used that phrase before, but that's kind of how I looked at it. The field goal, shouldn't have took it. You should have went for the guts, went for the touchdown. Also, I do want to say this. Martinez had 10 carries for 84 yards. Mark Fletcher, 13 for 46. Why are you not running Martinez more? He's a workhorse. You literally got him in the portal from Oregon State to run the ball. Run him more, especially he's averaging 8.4 a carry. Why are you not running Damian Martinez more? I thought he'd be used more. I thought he'd be huge in this game, but Not really. Now we move on to another game. Jack State, man. Now, I will say this about this Jack State game. Western Kentucky played extraordinary run defense. Not only that, Tyler Huff did get hurt in this game. And I feel like if Jackson State didn't have nothing to lose in this game, they probably would have brought Tyler Huff back. But because they already had the Conference USA Championship game in the bag, they just let Logan Smothers carry out the rest of the game. So I think that was a big point of contention. But Western Kentucky absolutely played great run defense throughout the entirety of the game, something they did not do last week against Liberty. They contained this Jack State offense, and the kicker, shout out the kicker, man. He 3 clutch kicks in the second half, including the 50-yarder to win the game. And Western Kentucky won. They beat Jack State and punched their ticket to play Jack State tonight at 7 o'clock for the Conference USA Championship game. Now, Western Kentucky, they've been here before. They just could not get over the hump because of UTSA. Now, they got Jack State in their way. Can they finally get that elusive Conference USA Championship that they've been trying to get for years now? Try to get it with Bailey Zappi. Try to get it with Austin Reed. Now they got Caden Velkamp at the helm. Can he be the one to finally get it for him? I don't know, but let's talk about it real quick. I did pick Jack State to win this game, by the way, and I thought I was good when they scored that touchdown, but Western Kentucky came down and kicked that 50-yarder to win it. Western Kentucky starts with a 3-and-out punt. Jack State starts with a Tyler Huff interception leading to a 21-yard Elijah Young touchdown catch. With 3:19 left in the first quarter, Jack State scores a 46-yard field goal. With 4 left in the second quarter, Jack State turnover downs 4th and 2. Andrew Paul 1-yard gain, leading to a Caden Velkamp fumble, which will lead to a punt. Jack State scores an 8-yard Trey Stewart touchdown run. Trey Stewart 28-yard catch. Set that up. Western Kentucky scores a 50-yard field goal, and that was like right before the half. Then Jack State would start the second half with a punt. Western Kentucky would start the second half with a 21-yard field goal. Then Western Kentucky turnover downs 4th and 1. Caden Velkamp lost 1 yard, leading to a punt. Then Western Kentucky would score a 35-yard field goal. Jack State would score a 17-yard Logan Smothers touchdown run set up by Michael Petway, 47-yard catch. And then with 3 seconds left, Western Kentucky kicks the game-winning 50-yard field goal, leading to Western Kentucky winning the game. And like I said, solidifying the matchup for tonight against Jack State for the conference championship. We'll move on to the next game, which was the battle to play Georgia in the SEC championship game. You had Texas at Texas A&M. Texas was ranked 3rd. Texas A&M was 20th in the country. And I predicted Texas to win because I don't trust Marcel Reed. And honestly, Marcel Reed was, to me, the reason they lost the game. Marcel Reed. Now, the first drive is not on Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed gets them down 4th and 1. They don't take the field goal. They go for it. Amari Daniels is stuffed short. Boom. But right after that, Texas punched the ball, and you got the momentum in the game. And what does Marcel Reed do? Throws a pick. Scratch all that, right? The Texas A&M offense doesn't score a point in this game. Now, you might be saying, Carl, they had 7. How they not score a point? Will Lee's pick 6 is the only reason why Texas A&M scored a touchdown in this ballgame. Texas defense shut out the offense. And that's with Texas A&M defense shutting out Texas offense in the second half. Texas scored all their 17 points in the first half, and that's all they needed to win the ballgame. Texas A&M offense is the reason why I picked Texas to win, and Texas won 17-7, shutting out that offense. We're going to talk about it a little bit. So Texas A&M starts with a turnover downs, 4th and 1. Amari Daniels, no gain, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Then Texas A&M, Marcel Reed would throw an interception, leading to an Arch Manning 15-yard touchdown run. Shout out my boy Arch. Then Texas would score a 7-yard Jaden Blue touchdown catch set up by Matthew Golden, 44-yard catch. Texas would score a 28-yard field goal. The Texas A&M turnover downs 4 for 3. Marcel Reed 1-yard gain, leading to a 48-yard field goal miss. And then Texas started the second half with a punt. Texas A&M would start the second half with a punt. Then Quinn Ewers of Texas would throw a pick 6, 93 yards to Will Lee. And then Quinn Ewers would fumble, leading to a punt. And then Texas A&M turnover downs 4th and goal. Amari Daniels lost to 3. They had the ball to 1. They ran the ball, lost 3 yards, but that would lead to a punt. And then Marcel Reed would fumble, leading to the end of the game. And Texas will win your ball game, and they play Georgia tomorrow night. I believe in Atlanta. I think the SEC championship game is in Atlanta. Yeah, not really a neutral site for real because Georgia's right. Obviously, Georgia's right there. You know, it's not in Atlanta, but it's in Athens. But Texas is nowhere near Georgia. So, but that's the SEC championship game venue, man. And then we got to talk about this last game before we go over the Bowl Watch review. Where K-State loses to Iowa State 29-21. I did pick Iowa State to win. If you remember my Big 12 watch, I picked BYU to beat Houston. I picked Colorado to beat Oklahoma State. I picked Iowa State to beat K-State. And I picked Arizona State to beat Arizona. All those teams were tied for first place with 2 losses, and that will make your Big 12 championship game. Arizona State, Iowa State, which we'll talk about in about 30 to 45 minutes. And Iowa State won your ball game 29-21. Kansas State came out the gate, turned the ball over, and Iowa State easily capitalized. Then Kansas State came back, scored a touchdown. I watched this game, and I want to say Iowa State defense is the reason why they kind of won it. But I just think, again, Avery Johnson, being a freshman, being young, just made some bad decisions in critical times. He got the safety from intentional grounding where he ran back so far to get it. Just bad decision there. The pitch was late. He missed. Turnover leading to a touchdown. And he just had some bad mistakes. And Iowa State was able to capitalize and win the ball game. So let's talk about it. So K-State starts with an Avery Johnson fumble leading to a 15-yard Jaden Higgins touchdown catch. Then with 5:39 left in the first quarter, K-State scores a 28-yard Jace Brown touchdown catch set up by Avery Johnson 16-yard run. With 13:31 left in the second quarter, Iowa State scores a 41-yard field goal. Then K-State's Keegan Johnson fumbles, leading to a 9-yard Jalen Noel touchdown catch. Then K-State turnover downs 4-for-1 passes incomplete, leading to a 3-and-out punt. K-State will score a 65-yard Jace Brown touchdown catch. And then with 43 seconds left, Iowa State scores a 5-yard Rocco Beck touchdown run. Jaden Higgins set that up with a 21-yard catch. And that was 43 seconds left in the second quarter. Iowa State starts the second half with a punt, while K-State starts the second half with a 21-yard field goal being blocked, leading to a 3-and-out punt. Then K-State scores a 7-yard Garrett Oakley touchdown catch, Garrett Oakley had a pretty good game. He set that up with a Garrett Oakley 28-yard catch. Iowa State turnover one downs, 4th and 2 passes incomplete, leading to a safety, the safety I just talked about. The Iowa State will score a 20-yard field goal off that safety, and then K-State would turn the ball over on downs, 4th and 2 passes incomplete. Now, they didn't capitalize on this one. They missed a 37-yard field goal, but that wouldn't matter because K-State's forced with a 4th and 15, passing incompletely into the end of the game, and that's your ball game. Iowa State will take on Arizona State tomorrow for the Big 12 championship game. And I think my championship game was Utah and Iowa State. I want to say Utah, obviously Cam Rising got hurt yet again. I don't know why I put my stock on Cam Rising being healthy. Should have known better. He got hurt yet again, and they had a bad year this year. So, which they did last year without Cam Rising, and now Cal Whittingham is considering retiring. I have my thoughts. I said my thoughts in the chat, so I'm going to leave them to myself, but that's just – I'd say this. That's just BS. Before we go into major performances, I do want to do my Bowl Watch review. Bowl Watch recap. I was going to say review, but I'm about to change it to recap, actually, before I pop it up. And funny enough, my bowl watch recap is 6-6, which would have made me bowl eligible. Last week was better. This week in 12 games, it was 6. Well, I take that back. Saturday was 6-6. Friday was 2-0. I gotta find is this the notebook? I think this is it. Yeah, it's right here. Cool. So Friday game, the bowl watch game was Oregon State 5-6 at Boise State 11-1. Obviously, Oregon State was on bowl watch, but I picked Boise State to win, and they won, making me 1-0. Then Minnesota 6-5 at Wisconsin 5-6. Wisconsin was facing their first losing record in a long time under at Wisconsin. Period. Second year under Scott Satterfield. I did pick Minnesota to win, and they did win. So that put me at 2-0 for Friday on Bowl Watch, and then Saturday. We got to talk about it. Rutgers at Michigan State. Rutgers was 6-5. Michigan State was 5-6. I put that game first by accident. 3:30, and I picked MSU to win. I thought we would get revenge, and no, Rutgers said we're going to show you that 19-point comeback wasn't a fluke, and they beat the mess out of MSU, making me 0-1. Kansas 5-6 at Baylor 7-4. I picked Kansas to win. They were hot against ranked teams. Now, should have thought about that. They were hot against ranked teams. Baylor was just hot, period, as well. Both teams came into that game hot, and Baylor showed that they were the hotter team. Blowing out Kansas, I did pick Kansas to win, putting me at 0-2. Louisiana, who is playing, I believe, tomorrow in the Sun Belt Championship game against Marshall, 9-2 at University of Louisiana. Monroe 5-6, playing for bowl eligibility. I picked Louisiana Lafayette. They did win, making me 1-2. North Texas at 5-6 at Temple 3-8. I did pick North Texas to win, and North Texas won, making me 2-2. Eastern Michigan at Western Michigan. I did pick Eastern Michigan, and Western Michigan found a way to win, making me 2-3. Coastal Carolina 5-6 at Georgia State 3-8. I did pick Coastal Carolina to win, and they won, making me 3-3. Side note: Georgia State finishing 3-9 with a win against Vanderbilt is absolutely insane. Auburn 5-6 at Alabama 8-3. the Iron Bowl. Auburn was facing bowl eligibility. Now, I did pick Alabama, and they won, making me 4-3. Side note again, I know 82 teams are bowl eligible. I don't know if that's enough. And if it's not, they're probably going to ask Auburn to join one anyway. NC State 5-6 at North Carolina. I forgot to write down their record, but I did pick North Carolina to win, and they lost, making me 4-4. North Carolina State scored a game-winning touchdown late ball game to win it. TCU 7-4 at Cincinnati 5-6. My winner was TCU, and TCU won, making me 5-4. And then App State 5-5, Georgia Southern 7-4. I picked Georgia Southern to win, and they won, making me 6-4. Now the last two, Virginia at Virginia Tech, 8 o'clock. I did pick Virginia. Virginia Tech won, making me 6-5. And New Mexico at Hawaii. New Mexico won. I picked New Mexico to win. Hawaii won, making me 6-6. Now, with that being said, Bronco Mendenhall era at New Mexico is actually over. He just signed to coach Utah State. You know, Utah State had to fire Blake Anderson with the Title IX, stuff like that. Bronco Mendenhall parlayed 1 year at New Mexico to transfer Mountain West schools and now coach at Utah State. So, congrats to him. Congrats to Utah State. Now New Mexico has to find a new coach. It did trend up. It looked like it was going to trend up for New Mexico. And now they're right back at square one after 1 year. Now on to major performances, and then I will bid you adieu to another 25, 30 minutes. I do have to set the link up and everything. Where is my notebook? I know that's going to be a theme today. I got so many dang notebooks on the table. Here we go. Major performances. Y'all know how I'm going to do. I'm going to say the name, play the sound, what school they go to, and the position they play. So we're going to start with Mario Anderson. Greg, 84 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 carries, 41 yards, and a touchdown, making them 3 total on the day. Mario Williams, wide receiver, Tulane, 7 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown. Haynes King, quarterback, Georgia Tech, 26-36, 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, 24 carries, 110 yards, and 3 touchdowns, making it 5 total touchdowns on the day. Carson Beck, quarterback, Georgia, 28-43, 297 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Ishmael Mahdi, running back, Texas State, 20 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Braxton Woodson, quarterback, Navy, 12-19, 165 yards, a touchdown, 15 carries, 125 yards, and 2 touchdowns, making it 3 total touchdowns on the day. For the midshipmen, LeJohn Wester, wide receiver, Colorado, 11 catches, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Travis Hunter, wide receiver, cornerback, 10 catches, 116 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 pass breakups, and a pick for Colorado. Ashton Genty, running back, Boise State, 37 carries, 226 yards, and a 226 yards and a touchdown for the Broncos. Dante Thornton, wide receiver, Tennessee, 3 catches, 118 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Volunteers. Isaac Brown, running back, Louisville, 26 carries, 178 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Cardinals. Bryson Washington, running back, Baylor, 28 carries, 192 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Bears. Taj Brooks, running back, Texas Tech, 23 carries, 188 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the Red Raiders. Jackson Meeks, wide receiver, Syracuse, 7 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Orangemen. Cam Scatterbo, running back, Arizona State, 21 carries, 177 yards, and 3 touchdowns for the Sun Devils. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State, 8 catches, 143 yards, and a touchdown for the Sun Devils. Omarion Hampton, 22 carries, 185 yards, and a touchdown for UNC, the Tar Heels. Jace Brown, wide receiver, K-State, 3 catches, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Wildcats. And Shador Sanders, quarterback, Colorado, 34-41, 438 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a pick for the Buffs. Now, that's the end of the episode. I got 2 special guests coming on in about 30 to 40 minutes. Y'all make sure y'all sit tight. We got some conference championship games to go over. We're going over all 9 today, so make sure you tune into that. With that being said, I'm gone. I'll catch you in about 30, 40 minutes. Got to redo the links. Got to make sure everybody ready. Till then, peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.